Hi there, Izzy from Digital Goja Showrooms. And today we're going to start a new series, 5 Things to Do and Not to Do. These are questions and answers that I've seen across the blogospheres, on Amazon, on eBay, certain things that customers have been asking of what happens when I do this and should I do this and what to do to correct it. So, if you think this video is going to be helpful, remember to always click the like button underneath and subscribe to our channel for future sessions. Plus, any comments or questions, please post them underneath. Without further ado, let's look into these 5 things to do and not to do. Do not clean your LCD screen or your lenses with your shirt. I know that all of a sudden you see markings on the LCD and you're like, oh, how am I going to clean this? I can't see properly. First thing that comes to mind, oh, let me just wipe it with my shirt. There you run the gamut of scratching it permanently, especially our front elements. So what you want to do is you want to use a microfiber cloth. This one happens to be a magic fiber, and you run across it, removing all the excess fingerprints, and the same thing with your optic. You never want to remove your memory card while your camera is on. Always turn off your camera when you go to remove your memory card. The same way that we do removals of USBs and memory cards on computers, tablets, and cell phones, we have to consider the same thing with the camera. So always turn it off, and then you can safely remove your memory card, and the same thing for placing it in. You always want to make sure that the unit is turned off, and then you can safely install your memory card. Then you activate it, and now you're ready for shooting. So now you have no issues with running a gamut of damaging your memory card because you did an unauthorized removal of it, because it will damage and corrupt the card. Do not spray your screen directly. I've seen a lot of customers do this. That's the worst thing. Now you don't know whether when you clean this off, but you got all of it, or it might have actually, since these screens are now articulating, it could have actually gone into another section. Even though some of these, like for example the Altura, is completely harmless, you don't want to run the risk of having any fluid getting into the vital parts of your camera. So what you want to do, spray it onto the microfiber, and then you wipe across. And the same thing for the lenses. You want to make sure that you never spray directly into the lens, because there you run the gamut of having it seep through some of the porous optics that we use in today's high-end optics. So you want to make sure you wipe across and then you dry it off. Do not mount your strobe onto your DSLR while it's on. The best way to do this is you want to make sure your strobe is on the off position before you put it onto the hot shoe. You don't want to run the risk of shorting it out. So turn it off, and again, mount straight on. Don't twirl from side to side. Lock it in place, not overexerting the lock feature. You just want it on there so it's nice and tight but doesn't fall off. And then you activate your strobe, and now it's ready to function with your DSLR. This is a way to do this so that you don't run the gamut of shorting out your DSLR hot shoe and also damaging your strobe. You also want to make sure that it is off when you go to remove the strobe. Whether it's putting it on or putting it off, it always has to be turned off. Loosen it up, and again, remove it, pulling straight back. Do not do the twirl on and off like this, because you will damage the hot shoe. You never want to try to clean your sensor with a microfiber or any other tool. Yes, today's sensors will get particles on them. The important thing to do is you never want to wipe anything across the sensor, because there you run the gamut of damaging it. So the best thing to do is to use a blower, like a hurricane blower like this, and try to dislodge. Notice how you have to hold the camera at an angle to make sure that it does not get further into your sensor. So this way, whatever is on there is dislodged and becomes loose.